everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Sorcery. In the last session we made it here to Kare and having got in through the south gate with some fine acting work from Heinrich, we stayed in an inn which was, well, left a little bit to be desired, to be honest. But yeah, we've woken up this morning and we have reached a crossroads, and I have accidentally clicked on the crossroads before starting the recording, hence why we're now in mid-text. So let's get this show on the road, as they say. So following the track for a few minutes, you reach a junction where three roads begin. These are the outskirts of Kare. Huts huddle like beggars on either side of the tracks, leading uphill into the city port. We shall pause to take in the surroundings. It must be clear to everyone around you that you are a stranger in these parts. The city's inhabitants, a multitude of malevolent creatures who would kill for the laces of your boots, turn to watch you as they pass. You are sport. A figure to be jostled and robbed, and one who will most likely fall prey to the strange, elaborate system of traps laid across Kare by the early settlers to protect themselves from one another. We shall look at the paths. There are more people here than you've seen in a long time. You cast an eye across the faces, wondering if you can tell the good honest souls from the thieves and murderers. We look to the left and see a group of scruffy youngsters walking up the road with packs on their backs. We look ahead. It appears to be the main road into the centre of Kare, its surface rutted from cartwheels. Further in the distance you see fields. This is the route taken by supply wagons to the docks. And to the right, the track heads towards a field, or fields. A hut stands proud a little further on. The business of this place is confusing, but you will have to simply strike out. The north gate awaits, if you can survive in Kare with barely any money. Just at that moment, a cart rolls down the road from the right and careens around the corner to take the main track ahead. On its back are stacked several crates. One teeters for a moment, then falls near your feet, its lid cracking open. Opportunity knocks. Wave for the driver to stop? No. Let's take a look. Kneeling down in the mud, you prise open the crate with your fingers. Inside is a pile of smashed bottles. Thick purple liquid swills about, littered with shards of glass. There are perhaps 4 bottles still intact, but you recognise the smell. It is blimberry, a potion with many healing properties. We'll take 4. You take all of the bottles, wipe them down as best you can on the grass nearby, and put them into your pack. A lucky find indeed. You could use blimberry juice to heal, or we could also eat them as a meal. Very nice indeed. Well, let's take a quick look at our pack here. Yeah, magical items. 4 doses of blimberry juice. So we have a choice. We could turn right, which will take us to the Festival of the Thieves and through some fields, and there's also a hut, I think it said. We can go up across the main gate, the main pathway, which apparently leads towards the docks, all the way up there. Or we can take a left turn, which is where the scruffy-looking people were, with their backpacks. Off the beaten track, through a thin row of buildings on either side, but it heads towards Dwarf Town and the Artisan Quarter, or the Artists Quarter, sorry. And both of those sound rather intriguing. And whenever we have a choice in an RPG or a split path situation, we always, well, at least probably 95% of the time, turn left first. So we shall stick with theme and we shall turn left. You follow the children with backpacks up the road. Homes, hovels line the track, and strange faces appear at the windows watching you as you pass. Then from around the bend ahead, a troop of guards appears. We can't blend in with youngsters. We'll stand out like a sore thumb. Dart into a nearby hut. Keep my head low. Just act normal. We've had nothing but positive interactions with the guards so far. Perhaps even feeling a little bit overconfident, Heinrich, that he can manipulate guards to his will. You ignore them. They must have better things to do than harass strangers. But the guards do not ignore you. Oh dear. Or you! One of the guards grabs you by the arm. You look new here. Are you new? Well, honesty is the best policy. Yes, we are new. I've only just arrived. Then be on your guard, the soldier warns. There's plenty of ruffians who'll pick your pocket while they talk to you. Then, with a sly wink, he and his fellows march away. A pleasant herbal smell drifts from the doorway of a nearby hut. We can continue along the street, or we can go towards the sweet-smelling hut. Guerrilla time. So, honour and good faith. We accept danger and misfortune without hesitation, which is not strictly true. We do have an air of caution about us. When alarm bells start ringing, we can turn away from danger if needs be. But, I mean, it's a sweet-smelling hut. How dangerous can it be? Oops. I should stop saying things like that. Inside is dark, with a smell of rotting straw rising from a pile of mattresses that circle a low table. It is only after a moment that you notice these mattresses are occupied. 3 ugly faces peer at you through clouds of smoke rising from a hookah pipe that sits on the table. Examine the people. You look at the 3 creatures who are staring at you with lazy disinterest. They are black elves, normally clever and vicious creatures, but these 3 only stare vacantly into the clouds of smoke at the top of the hut. Perhaps, in their more relaxed state, they may divulge information without giving a care. You turn to the nearest elf and nod. "Greetings," you say. The elf nods back in return. Oh, should we be announcing this? I need to ask for help? I think, yeah, I don't really want to announce this to these people, so perhaps this might be better. Okay. What's the best way to reach the north gate? The elf nods a third time, more profoundly now. Vital mission? I'm just a trader, trying to make my way through. The elf nods once more. It is only then you realise he is asleep. This is useless. The smokers are too confused and vague. Okay. Heinrich looks around the hut once more. One of the elves takes a long draw on the hookah pipe, then sighs and settles back on his mattress. Should we smell the air? Do we want to really end up in the same state, or should we leave? We need to be on our guard. We can't afford to have our senses dulled. No. It's time to leave while the going is good. Yeah, the smell in the air is sweet and stupefying. You go straight back into fresh air and then continue up the street. Okay. No one's going to give us any information anyway. You continue up the narrow road. It is packed either side with mud brick hovels, but most are deserted. A few creatures pass by, heads turned down. They do not look at you. This part of the city port is barely habited, so should be safe enough to pass through quickly. You pass a drinking fountain, dribbling water into a chipped stone bowl. Well, A, don't propose to drink from random fountains, and B, if people aren't going to talk to us, then I suppose the best thing to do is just keep going. We don't want to draw unnecessary attention to ourselves, and they've got their heads turned down, do not wish to look at us, and therefore we shall not provoke. We shall continue and keep going. You leave the fountain untested and continue up the road. We could be missing stuff here, but we need to get to our mission. We need to get to that north gate. We cannot afford to take any risks. This part of town feels abandoned, like the drying strip of sand left behind by a falling tide. We walk on. A little further on, the road approaches the first stone building you have seen since the hut by the gates. It has windows of glass and a wide yard inside its uneven high wall. Whoever lives here is wealthy and understandably cautious. They have, however, left a fine stallion, only loosely tied up outside. We can't steal a horse, can we? We can't possibly steal a horse. No, we surely can't. You approach the horse. It snorts nervously, wary of your presence. You might be able to calm it, or even talk to it with the correct spell. We can talk to animals with a spell, but we need a component, and we do not have the component that we need. I think we need like a green wig or something. You try a few words in the common tongue, and then a few whispered in the more gentle language of your boyhood in Chawbury Wood. The animal listens with its ears cocked, giving you a strange, distant look. But of course it does. It's a horse. Still, it appears calmer in your presence now. Perhaps you have made a friend. Okay. Well, we can't... Yeah, we don't have the required components to talk. I mean, I can just double check. Y-A-Z? Invisibility? No. Yap? Yeah, green-haired wig, there you go. No green-haired wigs today, folks. Wonder if those elves in the hooker hut was wearing any green-haired wigs. We could have missed a trick there. Anyway, we're not going to steal the horse, and so we shall leave it. And we shall enter this house. We can't resist. A wealthy person in the midst of this city? Surely a man of interest. Or a woman, of course. You step through the gate of the house into its wide front yard. It was once a magnificent place, with fish ponds now stagnant, fountains now cracked and dry, and small groups of quiet trees, now overgrown and gnarled like whispering old men. The building itself has fared no better. One side has collapsed in on itself completely, and the other leans perilously to one side. Oh dear. Well, let's just have a bit of a nosy. Ooh, we're hearing animals. Yeah, we'll just take a gander around the outskirts of the building and take a look in the trees. Oh, there's a giant bat watching us, hanging upside down. Perhaps we can just walk on by. Leave it be. Oh, damn. Perhaps not. You pause to look around. Okay, so you hold the bat stare for another moment, then walk on, but the rustling in the leaves behind you is pretty clear, and you spin round in time to see the creature coming for you with its talons drawn. You draw your sword quickly and engage the creature. Now, this creature isn't very strong, so I think for us to be able to hit it, we wouldn't have to go very hard, so I think we'll go 5 to start with. The cut, and he blocks. The bat's great wings buffet at your face, making it hard to see. You slash out at the creature, hoping to cut off its wings as the bat flutters back out of reach. If we go full beans, we still probably have more power than that does. So I think we'll go... I don't even think we need that. I think we'll go... No, we'll just make sure. Thrust! Boom! Another chance follows. You cleave the air with your sword, catching the giant bat wide open. The bat is flying erratically now. I think he's probably got more than 2.8 left. So I think what we'll do is we shall defend. Ooh. You drop into a crouch. The giant bat tries to slice you with its wings, but you duck. You escape, mostly unscathed. I think we'll go and chance it here. No, we won't. He could block again, though, but screw it. Boom! You wait for the creature's wide wings to open, and then you strike. Pushing off a tree trunk, you thrust forward. The giant bat tries to cover itself, but is too slow. The giant bat can barely stay in the air. It flutters upwards. Boof! And... it's gone. Decent dueling. We could have got that done without losing any stamina, to be honest, but anyway. Losing just the 1 point. We'll take it. Okay. Should we go to the fountains? I don't think we can. Okay. Approach the house. The front door is as wide as 2 men and stands imposingly sealed. A small path winds around the back of the house. Oh my god, seriously. Shall we go? Nobody of it. Oh, what am I doing? What are we doing? Heinrich, you have no business here. We thought perhaps somebody rich lived here and we could maybe parlay, get some information, maybe get escort through the northern gates, but no. It's obviously dishevelled. It's obviously dangerous. We've got giant bats in trees. You know, we do have an opportunity to go out. And whenever the game gives you an opportunity to go out, it is telling you that where you're going is not very safe. However, we can't quite help ourselves. We shall go round the back, survey the perimeters as best we can before entering. You follow the path around the back of the building. The rear is simply boarded up and secure. There is a low stone wall, partially ruined, through which the path continues, turning into a track that runs away through fields. Follow the track? This is, we're kinda going off track here, folks. Kinda going off track. Oh, no, I want to go in the house. Right, here we go. The fields of Kare will be slow to cross and no doubt filled with snakes and spiders. You turn back and return to the street outside the old house. Let's take a look at the door. You stride up the steps to the door of the grand house. We're going to cast a spell. The spell that hopefully will allow us to detect if there is any danger. If I can remember it. Right, D-O-P, that is open locks and doors. So this, we could open the door with a spell, that's fine. We'll bear that in mind. H-O-W. Find safe passage. Create a fireball. So create safe passage. So HD. Okay, well, we'll knock on the door first. no answers. We'll try again. As you wait to see if you will be answered, you notice a curious detail. There are deep grooves carved into the wood of the door, radiating outwards from the keyhole. It's as though something had exploded out through it, or perhaps attached itself on the outside to force its way in through the lock. A slate skitters off the roof and smashes itself on the ground to one side of you. Look through the keyhole. You drop to your knees and put your eye to the keyhole. At first you can see nothing, and then the darkness inside begins to take shape. You make out a long, lonely hallway running back into the house. The walls are lined with framed pictures and the surfaces with expensive ornaments. It doesn't look like the house has been emptied at all. A wooden rail runs along the inside of the hallway. We're going to try the door. Locked, of course. A cool wind moves through the trees in the yard, making evil whispering sounds. Oh my god. This feels so dangerously. This feels so dangerous. It feels so bad. What are we doing? We've come across a random house full of ornaments, full of stuff, paintings on walls, and we are going to unlock the door with a spell and go in? This is very similar to the situation with the cabin, with the cabin in the woods. That lady, we were warned about her, which was one of the reasons why we didn't enter. But you know, it's a similar principle of, you know, we're not being invited in, therefore, you know, why should we go walking on into somebody else's property? But we just can't quite help ourselves. Heinrich weaves his spell, and the great oak door complains once and then gives way, swinging open to reveal a dark hallway beyond. Oh my god. Heinrich, you are a fool. You should have just continued to walk up the path to your destination. We were walking nicely along to Dwarf Town. Talk with a couple of dwarves. Drink some ale with them, perhaps. Go check out some paintings in the artist quarter. All very nice and serene. High-five a few people, all jolly and jovial. Cross the Palatine Hill. Sounds very Romanesque. You know, have a walk, enjoy some relics. And to the North Gate. Job done. Easy peasy. But no. We are entering a strange house for no reason whatsoever. Why? Only Heinrich knows. You step inside the great stone house. A cold silence descends. Quite different from the dusty heat outside. This place feels like it has not been lived in for decades, although judging by the lack of dust, it may not have been quite so long. Floorboards creak underfoot. At the end of the hallway is a sealed door. Is that a chink of light just visible beneath the frame? The light beneath the door flickers, now bright, now faint, as though a figure paced back and forth, its shadow coming and going. But you hear no footsteps. Oh, man alive. Man alive. The game is... This is a situation where the game... You know, it's like the game is telling us, do you want to creep forwards? Or do you want to turn back? We're giving you the option. Now, the last time I had this sense of foreboding, we ended up dead in a field of black flowers. Of course, it was a premonition. Perhaps Heinrich better have another flipping premonition that walking into strange houses is not something you do. He creeps forwards. The walls on either side are lined with large portraits of dusty-looking men and sour-faced women who sneer at you as you pass. The figures in the paintings are all finely dressed, but they also have knife scars on their faces and nicks in their ears. These must be the thief kings of Carrave's murky past. You pass a large metal coal scuttle sitting against the left-hand wall. You stop to look inside the scuttle, but the inside is blackened, and in the darkness it seems as though an infinite deep pit was contained inside. Do not put your hands into dark things that you can't see, Heinrich. Oh, shoot. Oh, my God. This is completely and utterly, ridiculously foolish. And I'm clicking these options knowing it's foolish, and I just can't help myself. You are not afraid. You reach into the scuttle blind. The scuttle feels empty. Then your finger touches something sharp. So sharp, it stings. Take your ammo, quick! Oh, my God. Something inside has... Kill it! What is it? What's on me? What's on me? What's on me? What's on me? Something... Oh, it's a creature or something's happening in the darkness and you can see nothing. So you grope about with your other hand to try and work out what the creature is, but you feel a stinging pain in your other hand. And a moment later you feel the same biting sensation on your neck. Something wrapped around your hands. A snake! What? Kill it! Oh my God, we rush back outside into the sunshine. As you hit the light, the serpent hisses and rears back and drops into the shadow. It must be a dark snake, a creature whose bite is luckily non-poisonous, just itchy. Oh, holy cow. Phew. Oh. Right. Well, if that's... Oh, come on, guys. Come on. What am I doing? Heinrich, what are you doing? Take that as a sign. Take that as a sign. There's pictures of people with knife marks on them. It's obviously a house of ill repute. You know, it's just not happening. Dark snakes in flipping scuttles. Just cut your losses. Cut your ties. Get out. What do you expect to find in there that is going to be of benefit to you? Really? Oh, I hate making choices. Return to the house. He is determined. Heinrich, what are you doing? This is utter foolishness. You reach the far end of the hall. It is only a short way from the entrance, but all is now in shadow. The only light comes from the gap around the frame of the door in front of you. More darkness wells up to the right. You can just make out the first few steps of a flight of stairs leading away upwards to the second level of the house. The study. Or the stairs. Holy flipping cow. Study. Oh God, we can still back out here. How have we ended up in this mess? How on earth? We're going to leave the study for now. Perhaps something on the upper level that may help us in the study? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna go... Screw it. You push open the door and enter a wide-panelled room with a thick carpet. It is a study of some kind. The source of the light under the doorframe becomes quickly apparent. A roaring fire burns in an enormous grate on one side of the room. We shall look around. You search around the room. The furniture is grand, carved and stained, and inlaid with patterns of goblin bone, but there are no possessions to be seen, no ornaments, no jewels, no treasure, and no sign of the owner. It is as if whoever lived here had moved out, or, more likely, as though the place had been thoroughly robbed. With the door shut, you would expect this room to be swelteringly hot, but like the rest of the house, it is icy cold. You go over to the fire to warm your hands, only to find it emits no heat at all. It burns no fuel either. The enormous grate, large enough to roast a whole boar, is entirely empty of wood, ash or coal, but the flames are none the less brilliant, and as high as a man. Right, we need some divine intervention here. We need to make sure we are not anything. What can we possibly do here? Sus, yes, sense danger. Definitely now is the time to do this. There is no danger here. Really? We can't touch the fire anymore, though. It's just a room with a fire. A magical fire. Oh well. A chill breeze drifts from the stairwell. Okay. So we've done the ground floor. We're halfway there. You place your foot on the first step of the stairwell, and suddenly it begins to move. Is it alive? Some kind of thin, flat beast? Or is it a trap? Jump back. In alarm. The shadows seem to churn, and the steps of the staircase creak and groan, though you cannot make out what is happening. After a minute or so, the noise stops, and the hallway is still once more. How very... Yeah. City of traps and thieves. Yeah. Traps and thieves. This could... Try again. More boldly, you put your foot on the stair once more. Again, it begins to move with a gentle lifting motion. Perhaps it is not a beast. Perhaps it is some kind of mechanism. This time, we stay still and try to balance. You stop dead still as the stairs moves underneath you, and you try to balance. It is not easy. You are definitely raising into the air and curving around the bends of the staircase as you go. As you reach the top, you see a corridor appearing, almost too close, almost close enough to jump. You jump for it. The speed of the moving stair is enough that you misjudge your landing a little, but not seriously. You very slightly twist your ankle as you land. Oh, 2 stamina gone. You look around. You're on an upstairs landing with doors on either side. Library, bedroom. Library. Sounds safer. Oh! In the library is darkness, save for a pair of eyes staring back at you. Who's there? You call out. The creature at the other side of the room makes no reply. In fact, it makes no sound at all. The distant eyes have not yet blinked. We remain transfixed on the eyes. You step forward boldly, your own eyes fixed on those across the room from you. They do not blink. They do not even move as you approach. Try to show it we mean no harm. You raise your hands to indicate you mean no harm. The eyes do not react. Then you see why. They are the eyes of a large portrait that hangs over the far wall, in shadow but for a dim sunbeam falling through a gap in the roof above. Oh, freaked out by a painting. Okay. The painting is of a proud and stern-looking man, dressed in loose leather armour, with a serpent emblem stitched along the length of one arm. The painting fills the entire wall of the room, and must be twice the height of the man who posed for the likeness. We take a look at the man, taking a step back to regard him. The most striking thing about him are his eyes, cold and cruel. They seem to gleam with cunning and the will to survive. They are the eyes of a man who would harm you if it suited him, knowing full well what it was he did. Otherwise he stands tall and proud, with one hand on the hilt of a sword, the other wielding a tiny dagger. Everything about him reeks of power and of threat. The picture must be of the man that lived in this house. For anyone else, it would surely cast too long a shadow to live beneath. The eyes of the painting seem to follow you as you move. You raise one corner of the frame from the wall and peer up behind it, but it is too dark to see if there is anything hidden there. This is... oh God. Heinrich lifts the painting down. There is a moment when you think you have it under control. Then you are holding the true weight of the picture and begin to stagger backwards, try to balance it. You backpedal across the room trying to keep your balance. The painting threatens to topple at any moment. If you can just get turned around, you'll be able to lean the painting against the wall. Step backwards and to the left. Step backwards and to the left, then bring the painting down to the floor to rest safely against the opposite wall. Phew. You rub your arms with relief. Look at the back of the canvas. With the painting tilted against the side wall, you are able to slip around and look at the back of the canvas in the weak light that trickles in through the door. It is unremarkable, with just a single inscription near the middle of the canvas. Theta, or Theta, 7th noble of Kare. The painting looks like a noble, all right, or at least it looks like the painting a noble would have had made of themselves. Theta. Look at the end wall. Nothing of interest. Damn. We were hoping for a safe or something full of coin. Okay. But we have found a clue, though. Let's have a look at the clue. We pick the right menu, of course. The 7th noble, Theta. Could come in handy. Righty-ho then, so back to the top of the stairs then, with only one room left to explore. The bedroom. And then we can be out of this building and breathe a sigh of relief, please. Just nothing beasts menacing in here. Please, I beg you. You step through a doorway into a simple bedroom. The bed is unmade and looks as though its owner left in a hurry. Personal effects are scattered all over the floor, as if the place has been ransacked, which it probably was. A cane leans by the bedside. You see nothing else of interest. The cane is a simple straight stick with a leather loop at the top to slip around the wearer's wrist. It does not look like any sort of weapon, and it does not appear to be magic. However, we shall take it. A second door leads further into the house, or you could return to the stairwell. No, we should leave, probably, but Heinrich, being a gorilla, welcome in danger when it suits, like now, heading into the bathroom. Maybe he needs a wee. There is nothing in the bathroom. Not even a mirror. Only a gap where one used to hang. The only fixture is an empty iron bathtub in the middle of the tiled floor, and for whatever bizarre reason, Heinrich decides to look under the bath. Something darts at your face and you leap back. Probably one of them snakes. Run my sword under the bath. You draw your sword and swipe it in an arc underneath the bath. It comes away clean, no blood and no hidden treasure. You head out of the small room. Yeah, another one of them snakes, I think. You return to the bedroom. There's nothing more to explore up here. Bloody hell, you know what? I'm actually sitting here and I've got goosebumps. My hairs are standing on end. This is creepy as hell, man. Absolutely creepy as hell. Just get us out of here. Can we check the fire out? Now that we return back in? No. Okay. This house is done. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. So no treasure, but we did get a clue. Phew. Well, save for a bite from a snake, we're not looking too bad. But we have lost a fair bit of stamina from that. And my question: who? You see that we can't go back to the horse now either. But who owns that horse? The owner doesn't appear to be there. Okay, well, I think we'll go a little bit further forward, and I suppose what we'll do is we'll conclude the session when we get to the outskirts of Dwarf Town. You follow the road past the grand house. A side road appears on the left. We look to the left. We see an arch, and beyond that, a wide yard. As you watch, a guardsman walks past. Oh boy. I suppose on that bombshell then, we shall end the session there. We can either go through the arch and converse with more guards, or we can head up the road towards Dwarf Town. And knowing Heinrich like I do, and considering how he's had nothing but good experiences with guards so far in this city, I have a feeling that he's going to head through the arch at the start of the next session. To find out if that is exactly the case, join me then. Until then, see you soon.